For those of you who are just tuning in, I just took a step out to get some fresh air. I'm keeping my distance. Ain't nobody around me. So make sure y'all do the same. If you need to step out the house, get some fresh air, do that. But just be mindful, man. 6 feet. 6 feet, man.
Yeah. It is interesting times right now, and it is scary to see, what's going on. But how do you sort of like stay grounded, especially being in one of the hardest hit communities?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. I think, this world, there's just tons of stuff going on in this world. Even prior to this virus emerging, there's always going to be something, you know what I mean? There's always going to be some sort of resistance. There's always going to be something that is seen as an obstacle, is getting in our way, right? The thing about this, though, which is interesting, is like, rarely do you ever have times when everybody is experiencing the same thing at the same exact time, like simultaneously. You know what I mean? I'm starting to see as a collective, like humanity as a whole is starting to understand, like, yo, this is affecting me regardless of my social, status, my class status, regardless of all that stuff. I'm just as affected as the next person, and I think in times like this, when, a lot of those material things and those external things that we sometimes hang our hat on aren't really valuable anymore. It's times like this where I feel like, honestly, your perspective is your real value and worth, like your perspective and how you view things. So for me, like, I mean, I always try to make sure that I'm keeping it even keeled, not try to get too high, too low, set your pace, don't react to the race, but yeah, my perspective is always just, trying to find, I guess, like, the optimism and the positivity in things. I just think people need to really take a second to understand the value and worth of their own perspective, and how much that is actually going to get you through life more so than anything else. So
this is now a time to create, if it's in you, take advantage of it and go create. And then, but obviously, if you need that break, if you need to just be at home doing nothing, you can do that too. So maybe what is your words of advice for content creators out there?
It's crazy because we live in a time and age where like, you still can create. You know what I mean? You still have if you have internet access, you're good. In a sense, like you can still create stuff. I think I don't know. I just think you have to kind of. It gives you a chance to stop and really think about what it is you're creating. You get to be a little more intentional. Start plotting them out. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's going to happen overnight, but at the same time, like, you still got to start. You know what I mean? You still got to use the day. Take this time to really just figure out what it is you want to contribute, what you want to put out. Because, again, like, I know how it is for some people who, like, for me and, our team, like, we have the luxury of creative control, right? And that's kind of why it's important to sometimes have that ownership and that independence so that you can actually put out what it is you want and when you want to put it out. So for those who have jobs at certain platforms or, they're being assigned or they're not necessarily given the creative control that they wish they had. Now, if you have it now, take advantage of that, and start really just creating what you want to create. So now I think is a time when, as a collective society, humanity as a whole is kind of, at a standstill. It seems like now is the time to understand that your perspective and how you view things is really your true worth and value. And how you view things in this moment right now will determine, how we get through this, So, yeah, man, stay positive. Set your pace, man. Set your pace. Don't react to the race.